Okay, in the previous step, we calculated the average of NDVI for each province and each year since 1996 to 2016. In this step, I want to calculate hazard values or hazard quantities for each province using NDVI values. Okay, here you see the final output of previous steps. We show the procedure of hazard calculation in one province, for example, Sistan and Balochistan, located in the southeast of Iran. First of all, I turn off all layers. And then I search for Sistan and Balochistan province. Here we have Sistan and Balochistan. Okay, now we switch to Excel program. Here you will see the information for this province. First column shows different years since 1996 to 2016. In second column, we put NDVI values in front of each year. This is average of NDVI for this province in each year for May. In the bottom of this column, we calculate the average or mean of NDVI values as well as the standard deviation of the data. Okay, as you know, we have specific functions for calculating average and standard deviation in Excel. And for standard deviation, we can search stdev function or stdev. For standard deviation, we use this function stdev, and after selecting all data, the result will be shown here. Before explaining our main procedure, we have to make normal the distribution of our NDVI data. For doing this, we use a function is called standardize. Here we will see the function standardize, and the parameter or argument of this function is shown here. As you see, this function has three parameters. First parameter is x, that it is our NDVI data here. Second and third parameter are average and standard deviation respectively. Okay, if we copy this formula and then paste it in the other cells here, we can calculate normal data for all years. Afterwards, we categorize normal NDVI, changing between -2 to +3. into 5 classes, from very poor vegetation or extremely poor vegetation to very high vegetation. For example, the values between -2 and -1 are indicator of the areas with extremely poor vegetation. The other categories are poor vegetation with values between -1 and 0, low vegetation between 0 and +1, high vegetation between +1 and +2, and finally very high vegetation with the values between +2 and +3. In the next step, we need to count the number of events occurred in each category. For example, as you see here, we have 3 years with NDVI values ranging between -2 and -1. And for poor vegetation, we have 7 events. And in this manner, we act for the other categories. But in order to make faster the procedure of counting the events, we need to write a formula in Excel. As you see here, I use the formula. If our value is in between -2 and -1, the result of formula is 1. Otherwise, it is 0. Okay, let's show how we can write this formula in a new sheet. Take that we have a list of numbers like this. We need to define our expression. For example, we want to assign 1 to the values smaller than or equal to 5, and assign 0 to the values bigger than 5. We go to the Formula tab, and then we go to Logical Functions. We select if function. As you see, this function has 3 arguments. Logical test, as it is described here, is any value or expression that can be evaluated to true or false. In this section, you write your expression. Our expression is if A6 is smaller or equal to 5, U value is 1. Otherwise, it is 0. Okay. Here you will see the result because 4 is smaller than 5. You can copy and paste this formula to the other cells. You will see the results of applying this formula to the other numbers. For example, 5 is equal to 5. It is inside our range. But 6 is outside our range. Then the result is 0. Okay, here we use sum function to sum up the values that we assigned in this range. For example, here we have 3 events occurred in first category, 7 events here, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and so on. Okay. Next step is the calculation of probability of occurrence. For calculating of it, we should divide the number of events by the number of years. That the number of years in our study is 21, as you see here. We have 20 years, 21, we have 21 years. We write this formula here. This is the number of events divided by 21. After that, we copy and paste this to the other next cells.